A little girl asks JD Vance about God. His answer brings her to tears. In a moment that captured hearts across the nation, a little girl stood before Senator JD Vance with a question that stopped the room in its tracks. With innocent curiosity and a trembling voice, she asked him about God, what he meant, whether he was real, and why bad things happen if he loves us. The crowd fell silent, waiting to hear how the politician, known for his sharp rhetoric and no-nonsense approach, would respond to such a profound and deeply personal inquiry. What happened next was unexpected. Vance, often seen as a tough and reserved figure, knelt down to meet the child at eye level. His usual confident demeanor softened, and for the first time in many of his public appearances, he spoke not as a senator, but as a man who had wrestled with faith himself. He began by telling her that he, too, had asked those same questions as a child. He spoke of his own struggles, growing up in a broken home, facing hardship, and sometimes wondering where God was in the middle of it all. But then he shared a story from his life, one he rarely discusses in interviews or speeches. He recalled a moment when he felt completely lost, sitting alone in his car outside a gas station in his hometown, feeling like he had no future. It was there in that quiet despair that he said he felt something, not a voice, not a miracle, but a presence, a reassurance that even in the darkest moments, he wasn't alone. Tears welled up in the little girl's eyes as Vance continued. He told her that God doesn't stop bad things from happening because the world is broken and people have the freedom to choose even when they choose wrong. But what God does, he said, is promise to walk through the pain with us. He told her that love, real, unconditional love, is the closest thing we have to proof of God on earth. The way her parents love her, the way strangers help each other in times of need, the way, even in suffering, people find strength they didn't know they had. That, he said, is God at work. By now, the girl was crying openly, and so were many in the audience. Vance reached out and gently wiped a tear from her cheek, telling her, "It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask hard questions. And it's okay if you don't always feel him. He's still there." The moment was raw, unrehearsed, and deeply human. A rare glimpse into the heart of a public figure who, just for a few minutes, set politics aside and spoke as a fellow seeker of truth. As the little girl hugged him before returning to her parents, the room erupted in applause, not for a senator, but for a man who had reminded them all that sometimes the most powerful answers come not from certainty, but from honesty, compassion, and shared vulnerability. And in that exchange, something remarkable happened. A little girl walked away with a heart a little less heavy, and a room full of adults remembered what it means to believe, not just in God, but in each other.